With another edition of the Etihad Cargo Connections, I'm AP Harold. We've been joined by a number of fantastic horsemen on this series. Our first, though, with a software entrepreneur and founder, creator, Gerben Morsink, founder of EquineM. Thank you so much, buddy.
Yeah, great to be here.
Your software helps owners and trainers manage their various activities and appointments. When did you realize there was a marketplace for your product?
Well, yeah, actually, to explain that, I should start at the beginning. I was raised with horses, so my parents always had horses, and I started competing as a show jumper. I was really successful also as a junior young rider. Won a gold medal at the European Championship show jumping, and with the Dutch team, and a silver medal individually. So I was already really into horses. And I also did my studies, applied physics and business administration at the University of Twente. And after my studies, I was a little bit like not sure what to do because, of course, in the horse itself, it can be a tough business as well. So I started as a factory engineer, did it 20 hours a week, and combined it with my horse riding. And at my job there, I saw that they were using digital whiteboards to plan and manage everything, like the operations. And I was like, "Whoa, that's actually really advanced. Why don't we use something like that in our horse business? I mean, still writing everything on the old school whiteboard. And the end of the week, we wipe everything out. And then, okay, if we don't write it down somewhere else, or we take a picture, or somebody accidentally wipes something out, and then we forget things that have been done." I was like, we can make it better, make something new that's better than the old thing. And that's when I started developing EquineM. And actually, a little bit at the same time, a colleague of mine, but then in the horse business, like a colleague rider, he was like, "Oh, you have this really nice tool," because I explained him of an Excel sheet I was using. It was quite complicated. Can I have it? And it was only for planning competitions, so nothing else. I gave him this Excel sheet, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, I filled some fields in like wrong data, and then it didn't work anymore. So it was a little bit hard to explain exactly how to fill it in." And I was like, "Yeah, you have to know, what to do because it's Excel. It's not like a web application or something like that." He was like, "That's a good idea. Make an application for it. I'll be your first customer." And that's how it started.
Gerben, I heard applied physics and I heard University of London, and I know how brainiac that is. What's that?
Yeah. University of Twente. It's in the Netherlands.
Oh, excuse me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, in the Netherlands, but I heard physics, and I know how brainiac that is. And in our industry of horse racing, there's so much tradition and history and even superstition. How difficult has it been for you to manage the new age technology and innovation with some of the old school practices where people are perhaps hesitant to change?
Well, it's sometimes difficult, especially the older generation who's not maybe that handy with a phone or a little bit hesitant to adapt to like modern technologies. It might be sometimes hard to convince them, but okay, younger people also get older, and now more and more younger people are doing a really good job, also in the racing industry, but also in the show jumping and everywhere in the horse industry, and they pick it up really fast. And also, if you look at the people working at a farm, like interns, but also like young people who come to help with the horses, take them out during the daily routine, they pick it up in a split second, and they know what to do. They work with apps every day. So then the moment they start using EquineM, it goes fast. But it's a little bit because there's often like an older person behind, like a successful farm or a horse farm, and he or she might be a little bit hesitant. So that's also why I really like this first talks directly with all the stakeholders involved. And then they see how easy to use the tool is, because my father, he has big glasses, he doesn't see it really very well, and he's an older guy, and he also learned it really quickly, and we're using it at our farm as well. So
Gerben Morsink is our guest on the Etihad Cargo Connections. He is the founder, the creator of EquineM. It's a software that helps owners and trainers manage their various horse activities. Gerben, who is typically going to benefit more? Is it the small stable or the large corporate operation?
Well, that's a little bit a tricky question because it depends a little bit how many people are connected to the horses. If you have, for example, a stable with like 2 or 3 horses and one person is doing everything by himself, okay, there might be an advantage to keep like a good logging, and especially if you have horses of owners for the building and everything to use EquineM. But of course, like big operations with many people, many different people, and not every day the same people there, they benefit even more, I would say.
What about when most of us are not, physics majors like yourself and experts on technology? What about online or phone support? If I'm a customer of yours and I've got some questions, how do I get to you or your team to answer those questions?
Yes, we have a really good dedicated email support, so you get an answer on working days within 24 hours. And of course, we are also available on the phone, and we use WhatsApp, so it's also easy worldwide. A lot of people use WhatsApp, and calling on WhatsApp is also it's free, of course, so that makes it easier to use. Yeah, and like I say, WhatsApp messages, or we sometimes do a FaceTime video even. Depends a little bit on the customer, but we're there.
A
Yeah.
lot of us, gotcha. A lot of us, Gerben, do better when we have hardware and software. And it looks like EquiBoard would be that hardware component for EquineM. What is that, and how does that help people facilitate the use of EquineM?
Yeah, the nice thing of the EquiBoard is that it's one place in the stable where everybody you can hang it at one place in the stable, and everybody who walks next to it, they can see what has to be done. That they can check all the activities that have been done. Even if you have like interns who do when you don't like them to have like a dedicated account where they can access their phone and see what's happening at the stable every day, and even from home or when they're like somewhere else, they can also check mark things on the EquiBoard or see what the daily plan is. So that's really a big advantage of the EquiBoard. Yeah.
Gerben,
It's
you're
a big
obviously
touch screen. Yeah, it's a big touch screen for your listeners. It's a big touch screen, like 30-inch or 40-inch. Yeah, it uses an internet connection, and it synchronizes directly with the EquineM app and or web portal, so that all the data is always in sync. So that's a little bit like the background information.
Yeah, I was very impressed as I was researching it. That put something physical to the software component, which oftentimes is digital and tough for a lot of us to understand. Gerben, you're obviously a racing fan. You mentioned you grew up with horses. What is your favorite breed, and what are some of your favorite races, whether it's in Europe or around the world?
Yeah, that's a good question. To be honest, I'm more a horse fan. Like in general, I like all the disciplines, like the Olympic disciplines, the racing. I like everything about the horses. And of course, when my great grandfathers, when they were breeding horses, but from the field, they were farmers. So they could never produce a racing horse out of that. So they went into show jumpers, of course, because otherwise they will never be as fast as racing horse should be. But what I really like about the racing is like everybody's on the field at the same time, at the thrill that one combination can be behind and then get on top, get to the first place, like in the last round or whatever. That I really like that thrill, and especially if you bet on one of the horses, of course, that do well. But to be honest, I'm not sure which is like my favorite race. I just like the racing in general.
It's a great answer. And horses are such wonderful animals. And I know you've got that broad history, and that's a fantastic background to help you in doing what you do. Our guest on the Etihad Cargo Connections, Gerben Morsink, founder of EquineM. Our friends at Etihad Cargo, of course, move horses and other items, both biological and manufactured around the world. What are some of the things that you could see EquineM helping as we move through in the advancements in technology and making shipping horses around the world easier, safer, and less expensive?
Wow, you're talking about EquineM could help with the shipping part. Well, to be honest, we have already in the Netherlands, we have some products that connect with like the Dutch government. where horses where you have to register the arrival and the departure of the horses. You can do that, and directly via our EquineM send this information to the government. Okay, we're always looking forward for new possibilities. So if we got like if there's like an inquiry from another user, like from a different perspective, then we always look with our team of developers if we can make something for that specific niche as well, because we like the whole system. The EquineM is like it should be an equine platform to use worldwide. So that's what our vision is.
That's fantastic. Do you see, Gerben, different parts of the world, whether it's Asia or the States or Europe or the Middle East, or even our friends down in Australia, more readily adapting to new technologies? Or is it about even across the world and you have some people that are more willing and some people less willing, irrespective of the region?
Yeah, I think it's more respective of the person himself. But okay, if I look in Europe, because I'm from Europe, I know that area best. I know, for example, that Belgium, the Netherlands, they're quite into new technologies. Germany is a little bit more waiting, like first waiting which direction it's going, and then they'll go ahead. So yeah, of course, it depends a little bit on the culture also of the person. But in the end, I think people looking for like a new level of professionalism in their management of their horses, they should really look into a software solution that can help their business. I mean, still there are a lot of other things, of course, important, like the training and everything. That's not going away. It's just an addition that helps you get like to the next level for the management.
Walk us through some price points and levels of service. I'm sure you've got some various options.
Yeah. So it starts actually for businesses. It starts at €45 a month, and that includes 30 horses. So up to 30 horses, you can use this subscription, and it includes all the users. So if you have 5 users, or 10, or 15, or even 30, it doesn't matter. And it's for one location. So if you have a farm situated in multiple locations, you have to multiply by the number of locations you have. And then if you have additional horses, it goes to €1 per horse per month extra. And of course, for really big farms, we have some really big farms with 400 or 500 horses. They get a discount, of course. So then we make like a good deal with them.
What do you find has been your best way to market EquineM and EquiBoard? Has it been word of mouth? Has it been online advertising? Has it been demonstrations?
Yeah, so far our main advertising has been word of mouth. And the reason for this is that we really like to have a good onboarding process, so that we really treat every customer, give them the time and the information they need to really use our system in the best way possible, because then they get also the best return out of it. So now we've scaled up our customer service department, and we're really looking for like the next step. So this will be online advertising, of course, through you. So yeah, these kinds of things. That's our next step. And also, I must say, we used the past 7 years. We started in 2015, actually 2014 already. We first developed for 2 years like the product to have like something ready to sell. It was a basic product, and from that we kept continuously develop the product. And that's also why we took those years to keep developing it and keep like the existing customers happy, but also looking for new customers, like for new ideas, what could we include in the platform to make it even better. So okay, and it's hard to do that at the same time grow really hard as the customer base. So that's why we used more the word of mouth was actually enough, for this growth, this organic growth that we're looking for in the first stage.
Software, of course, is constantly being updated. There's always new innovations, new ideas, trial and error. Some things work, some things don't. You got to tweak it. What are some things in 2, 5, 10 years you'd like to see EquineM doing that perhaps right now is a vision or a dream?
Yeah, there are of course many things that we could add, and we're always looking a little bit for what gives the customer the most value. So if you look at the short term, we have a lot of for example, we have a saddle chamber, digital saddle chamber. It's like where you can add all the tech and all these things the horses need for the specific trainings. This is something that we're really looking in like for the coming 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and then this feature will be rolled out to all customers without additional costs. For example, another feature we created only this year is like the how to call it, a form builder, so people can build their own forms and add those forms to the horses. And it sounds a little bit abstract, but I had, for example, one customer, they have a rehab stable, so horses who get an injury, they treat them really well. They have all the facilities to make sure that they get the best possible rehab possible. And they wanted this form builder so they can, for example, for the aqua trainer they have, they can make a report which looks every time the same and send it to their end customer, so the owner of the horse. So these are kind of things we're looking for right now. And on a long term, we just hope to build like the best equine platform possible. So if customers have ideas or we have an idea, we try to incorporate it in the platform on the right spot with the right links between all the different modules. So we already have invoicing, we already have feed, we already have, of course, all the daily activities, but also all the horse info profiles. We have a contact section where you can add all the clients, all the owners, and of course they are linked to the horses. So when a horse does something, the owner automatically get a push notification. We already have a lot of those kind of things, and we also like adding small things, but we also add like big things as well.
Gerben, here I am in the States working for a group out of the Middle East. We're talking about the Everest race, oftentimes with folks in Australia. You're in Turkey, you're speaking English, you're from the Netherlands. I'm thinking, how many languages do you offer EquineM in? Do you have it in Mandarin? Do you have it in French? Do you have it in Arabic, or is it simply English?
We have English, Italian, Dutch, German, and I think that's it. That's it for now. We had Chinese, but okay, it's difficult to use to. Okay, with the Chinese firewall, it really exists, I found out, and it's hard to sell a platform like EquineM to China. So that's, and okay, for every new thing we create, we of course also have to recreate translations, update relations. So we stopped with supporting Chinese, but we have a lot of English, German, Dutch, Italian, so Spanish even we have. So we have a lot of languages.
Our guest is Gerben Morsink. He's the founder of EquineM. It's a software that helps owners and trainers manage their various horse activities. Let's delve into it a little bit. Activities may be assigned or ordered. Can you walk us through briefly, a rather pedestrian everyday activity that could be either ordered and or assigned?
So as I am a show jumper, I'll start with the riding because that's our main activity, so to say. And of course, you can assign this riding task to a rider, but you can also have a lesson. So then you can assign it to the rider, but also to an instructor. So that's what the assigning part actually means. And then if you look at the daily overview, you'll see, for example, if the task assigned, the riding assigned to me as a rider, under my name it says riding this horse. So then I know exactly my plan for that day. But I might have like 5 or 6 horses on a day to ride. And then the order also makes sense because I want to know my groom knows which horse is next for tacking up. So that's actually what the ordering and assigning means. And of course, in the racing, you sometimes have like I know a lot of stables, they use like heats. So they have heat 1 where like 4 horses are racing, heat 2 even in the practice, where, for example, 4 horses are racing. And that's why we also have the possibility to add like assign heats, so the horses to heats, so that the whole day is in different runs, different heats. Yeah.
And how long did it take you to go from idea to your first product that was out there in the market?
Yeah, it depends a little bit of what you define like the idea, because of course I started with Excel sheet. I think I was 17, maybe 18 back then. And it took me like, I think 7 years before I really started with EquineM the way it is like now, with like a web application and everything. And then when we started building this web application, it took us 2 years from like start to finish or like the launch of EquineM.
Gerben, here on the Etihad Cargo Connections, we're generally speaking with people in the horse racing community and talking a lot about the Everest.
Yep.
As far as the horse racing community, are they more or less receptive to this than veterinarians, than owners of pets, than jumpers, or is it about the same? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a little bit the same. Okay, we didn't do a lot of marketing, but still we have quite a lot of racing stables. And I think that's because in the racing, everything is measurable. Like you can see the race time, you can see the improvement in the race times. So I think in the racing industry, people are already used to using metrics as a way to define progress. And we are just facilitating that. And yeah, okay, if you look, for example, pet owners, that's not really our target group because yeah, they might have one or two pets or one or two horses. Yeah, that's not really what our software is for. Of course, they can use it, and that's why we have like a low level subscription for those kind of users, but that's not our target group. So yeah, and I must say also show jumpers, they become more and more receptive for it. Because if you want to be like the best, you have to use the best tools. And I think we try to provide that.
You make a great point because in horse racing, an edge of 5/100ths of a second can mean the difference in a lot of money. And hey, congratulations, go get them next time. And by using tools like the stuff that you've developed with EquineM, that's what you've got to do. And so I would think that that's a growing market for you. You can convince these ultra competitive people with a lot of money on the line, hey, I can get you that much better.
Yeah, exactly. And like I say, it's just when you level up your professionalism in management, and you really look carefully at what the horse needs, and you make sure that even if you have an idea, the horse needs this and this, it also gets done. Because often you're not the person doing this with this horse. You're the person thinking of this plan for this horse, and then you have other people also helping to. They're all pieces of the puzzle to make this horse perform the best possible way possible. And that's I think what our system can really offer, like good communication, good direct, who's responsible for what, these kinds of things, and that really makes a difference in the end.
A young man from Europe who has leveled up the professionalism across the board in the equine industry, Gerben Morsink, founder of EquineM. He's helping racing owners and show jumpers and fans of horses across the world get more out of their four-legged athletes and friends. We appreciate your time very much on this, the Etihad Cargo Connections.
Good. Thank you very much.